Hello and welcome to the famous Shams experience. My name is Shams O'Grady, and today I embark on a new adventure, or a new hobby, hopefully, that I will pursue and be very good at, and that is fly fishing. And I have no idea how to fish or what to do when it comes to fly fishing, but it's a good thing that one of my buddies that I shear with, James, if you guys watch my sheep shearing stuff, he's in the background shearing sometimes. He is a fly fisher. Now, he's helped set me up with some basic stuff to start fly fishing. So, James, if you can explain what we have here and why we need it, or how it makes fly fishing easier, and just talk about the fishing rod I bought too. So, I bought the Encounter. So, go ahead, James. Explain.
Yeah.
Explain these things.
Explain away.
Yeah.
Well, my name is James Wood. I'm a guide up here in Big Sky, Montana, and today we're going to be fishing the Gallatin River, which is the river that runs through the canyon up here. It's a little muddy right now, so we'll see how it goes. We got some creek options that run into the Gallatin that we'll probably do. But yeah, so Seamus bought a kind of a beginner kit, so anybody that's looking to get into fly fishing, this is a great little setup for them. The Orvis Encounter. Orvis is one of the big name brands in the fly fishing industry, and that comes with a reel, which is a very important part of fly fishing. So we got our reel here, and this is just a basic, beginner reel. That's all Seamus is probably going to need. And then you're going to want a pair of waders, which is also what I have on here, and this just keeps all the water out, so that you can be dry and comfortable all day long. During the later part of the summer, we do what's called wet wading. So you take off the waders and you just have boots and socks on. That's when it's really hot and the water's nice and warm. Today, the waders are going to be a little bit more comfortable. And then you also need some wading boots, which are these here. The bottom of these ones are felt, which is going to, they're a lot more sticky on the rocks in the water, because there's, algae and slime and all kinds of good stuff on the river bottom. So you want something that's going to stick on pretty good, and the felt is good. And these are Sims waders. Sims is a big company in the fly fishing industry. They're in Bozeman too, which is pretty cool, because that's just down the road here. Yeah, so we like to, support American made if we can. These Patagonia boots are also American made, which is pretty cool. And then Seamus has a nice pair of these are mine, sunglasses.
Mine's over there.
Okay. Yeah, we want some polarized sunglasses, because that's going to decrease the amount of glare that's on the surface of the water, which is really important when you're trying to see this little tiny fly float across and then a fish grab it. You want to be able to set the hook pretty quick. So we have some flies too, just a little beginner kit. We were just in our shop up in Big Sky, Gallatin River, guys. So I picked out some beginner flies, or some standard flies you're going to want all around. We have some nymphs here, some rubber legs. This is a woolly bugger. We have prince nymphs here, and then a copper john. Those are pretty much all you need to get started with nymphing. And then we have a selection of dry flies too, which float across the surface. So we're going to try everything today. We're going to throw the whole kitchen sink at them and see how it goes. And then you also need a license from Montana, so that's what Seamus has here. As a resident, it's only $21 for a whole season, which is a killer deal. And then we have some indicators here, which are kind of like a bobber, which you traditionally see in spin casting. This is going to be used for nymphing, so the flies are underwater, and this is going to sit at the top, higher up on our line, on the top of the water, and that's going to tell us if a fish struck the fly. So that's pretty much everything that we're going to need. And then a good attitude is also helpful. So hopefully we got that throughout the day. Yeah, and that's basically it. So I take people out doing this all summer long. So this is just one of the rivers that we do also. So, yeah.
Well, thanks, James, and thanks for introducing me. And throughout the course of this video, if you like how James does things, he does take people out. So just reach out to him. He does have the website, purplehazeguiding.com, purplehazeguiding.com, and also include a link too. All right, and then some of my own personal items I'm going to bring. 44 mag, because there are bears out here, and my shades, and yeah, and I think that's specific towards me. Oh, and then my cool guiding hat too that I'm gonna be switching out.
We put the reel on. I did that.
Yep.
Next is to thread the line through the eyelets here.
Okay.
So what I like to do, because you'll have a clear leader, this is called.
Yep.
It's attached to the
And it's already
actual fly line.
Okay, it's already tied there.
Yeah, it's an easy knot. You just loop it through itself there. It's super
Okay.
easy. And then I'll pull all the line out until I get to the fly line, and then I'll loop it like this, and then I'll just start going through the eyelets here.
Okay.
Make sure you hit every one, because there's been times in the past where I've missed them, and that doesn't help. So we're just gonna thread it all the way. Till we get to the end. And then once we're out, we're gonna pull the rest out. Until the leader's out, which it is. And then we're basically set up, and then we'll put all of our accessories on the end here in time. But for now, actually, let's do that since we're here. So this is called, so simple way of thinking of it, there's like 3 pieces to the whole line setup. You got your line.
Yep.
You have your leader.
Yep.
This is tapered, so it's thick here.
Yep.
Goes really thin at the end.
Okay. Oh, I see that now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you have tippet. So that's what I'm gonna put on here. And tippet is what the fly is attached to. So this is previous setup. So we're gonna use, we're gonna use 4X today. And that's just a thickness rating. So I have 3, 4, and 5X. So we're gonna use the 4. And I like to use, I mean, it depends on what we're fishing, but let's use about that much, because your leader is pretty thin. So we don't need too much here. Let's put it on for a second. To know a couple knots for fly fishing, you know, that's kind of a thing you'll learn over time. But I'm gonna tie a knot that joins these 2. So this is like some of the stuff with fly fishing that kind of intimidates people.
Yep.
All the knots and all the flies, and you know, I think there's a barrier to entry that the tenkara rod doesn't have, which I'll show you after this. So now we have tippet, and now we can tie our fly on there.
Okay.
So that's it. So this kit's kind of nice because it had almost everything you needed.
Yeah.
Not everything. I just wanted to talk about this style of fishing real quick, because this is a really great way to get into fishing, in my opinion. This is called a tenkara rod, and it originated in Japan. It was kind of, you know, you see that bamboo and the old man with the hat fishing. That's what this is. This is the upgraded version of that. So this is a telescoping rod, so it goes down like this. There's no reel, you can notice here. The line is tied on to the end of the rod here. So it's just a line, a rod, and a reel. And then I tie the fly on the end. So with this style of fishing, I'm going like this the whole time. And there's no line to worry about, no on the reel. And I think that's easier for beginners to pick it up, because when you're dealing with a reel and line, that's a component of fly fishing that kind of is challenging for people when they first start out. So this is just an easy way to do it. This is Tenkara USA. They're all built in Colorado. It's upside down there, but you can see the Japanese characters here. It's really nice. This is, I think, $180 for this rod. which is it's a good price. This is top of the line rod that they make. I mean, you get top of the line rods for regular fly fishing, it gets up in like $1,000 range. So you buy this rod, the line is pretty cheap, and you're fishing a top of the line system right out the gate as a beginner. So I like them, but you know, obviously regular fly fishing is close to my heart because I grew up doing it, and you can catch bigger fish with regular fly rod. You can cast farther with a regular fly rod, where you're kind of limited with this. You can only go as far as the line is. But the streams that I fish a lot, they're pretty small, so I can cast to the other side with this, no problem.
James, I don't know a thing about casting, so could you explain some things to me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
All right, so this is your traditional fly rod. The easiest way, I think, to learn to cast is to visualize a clock, okay? So on a clock, there's noon at the top, and in between noon, or on either side of noon, 10 and 2, okay? 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So the motion that you're gonna use is not with your shoulder like this. You're just gonna use your elbow, moving back and forth. Moving back and forth.
So we're not throwing a baseball?
No, we're not throwing a Hail Mary here. We're just going 10, stop, 2, stop, 10, stop, 2, stop.
Okay. What's the traditional fishing reel called? The
Fly rod?
yeah. So with the fly rod, typically I'm trying to throw it out there as far as I can with all my muscles. Is that what we're trying to do here? Question mark?
No, period. So the biggest thing to remember is that 10 and 2.
Yeah.
And then as we go, I will just critique your cast, and then I'll tell you, you know, a tip or two here and there.
Yeah.
For your cast to get better.
Okay.
Because I don't want to overwhelm you.
Okay.
Because we're just at, I mean, if you just throw this thing out there willy-nilly, you'll probably catch some fish here and there. So let's just start there.
Okay.
Okay. So what I want you to do is grab some line right here and pull it out. And then let go. Wait, not too far out. Oh, got it. Okay, just, yeah, let it go. All right. So if your line at the end here goes through the eyelet, it's all gonna come down. You're gonna have to restring it. Okay. So just keep that in mind. But if there's a fly on here, that won't happen, so don't worry about it too much. So what I want you to do is keep your index finger on the line.
Okay.
And that's going to secure it. So you can do whatever you want with this line. And so go ahead and pull some out, but not too much. Okay, that should be good. Now, grab this with your left hand, let go of that, and then just start 10 and 2. Let's see how it goes. 10 and 2. Okay. Go back a little further. Perfect. And you can go back a little further.
This is 10, 2.
See, that's almost 9 o'clock. Okay, there you go. Yep. Yeah, so on your back cast, pause a little longer.
Okay.
Because right now your back cast is going about 11.
Okay.
So it's about right there. I want you to go 1 more hour back. There you go. Pause. Okay. Back. Pause. Go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, good. So the hardest thing for people to remember when they're casting is to give it a pause in the back, because they just want to go out forward. Everything's forward. But you got to remember, you got to give time for that line that's coming back to go all the way back, and then you're going.
Okay.
Because otherwise you're gonna get tangled every time.
Okay.
And you're gonna hit yourself in the back of the head and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So that's the basics, but watch me real quick here.
Yep.
So I got line. See how the line loops
Yep.
in the back behind me? But
Yep.
if I go like that,
Yeah.
It's just like it doesn't get a chance to go all the way back.
Okay.
So just watch how far back it's going. Because you're gonna have a fly on there too, so you don't want it to get tangled as well. So you can tell here, I'm pulling more line out and it's getting longer and longer as I go.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's a good start.
Okay.
I think you'll get the casting thing down once we're out there.
All right.
Because every situation is different too. Sometimes you're gonna have only this much line out and you're gonna be doing that.
Okay.
So we're not gonna be casting 100 yards or anything just to start.
Okay.
So we're gonna grab one of those big old black bugs. Actually, let's try that coffee cup.
This coffee one?
Yep.
I like coffee.
Yeah, let's try that. So as a guide, this is my job too, is just fly selection, tying them on. You know, we're probably gonna change here and there because depending on how this does, but I'll take care of all that.
All right.
And you just enjoy the scenery on vacation here.
Okay.
So this is just a standard fisherman's knot,
Okay.
it's called. Kind of like one of the only knots you really need to know. So if you're curious, I can teach you that one.
I actually know how to do that one.
Oh, you do? Oh, good.
Bigger one?
Let's do the bigger one.
The bigger one. Okay.
And this, so where you place this is going to be determined by the depth of the river.
Okay.
So for this, we'll find out a little bit more once we get out there, but this, you just take those little washers off, slide the line through there, put them back on, and Bob's your uncle, as they say.
Bob's your uncle?
Yeah. We're gonna need to start with this. You're gonna put the hook on one of these,
Okay.
and then just wrap this underneath.
Oh,
And
cool.
You're all put together.
All put together.
See the difference in clarity?
Yep.
Just pumping out from there. That's what we're gonna fish mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's do we'll throw it out a couple times just to get the basics down.
Okay.
Put this down. Yeah. Okay, so put your index finger to hold, and then let it double a line. A little bit more. Yep. All right, so since we have a bunch of debris or whatever right behind us, I just want you to flick it out, and you're just worrying about the indicator, what the indicator is doing. So flick the indicator, land right there in the middle where the dirty and the clean water meet.
Okay. And there is that a little twisted up top there?
It should come out.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be okay. And you can also, if you want, you can just hold this line with your left hand.
Okay.
And you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, I
You
see.
can kind of control what's going on with your left hand there.
Okay.
So go ahead and flick it just one time. There you go. And you're fishing.
I'm fishing?
You're fishing. So now you gotta wait until that goes all the way. And now that there's tension on the line, now you can flick it again. There you go.
Okay.
So let that go. Let that fish, as we say.
Let that fish.
And then go again. Oh, nice. That was really good. You see the indicator?
All right. So what I was doing on the Gallatin River over there is called nymphing. So like the larval stage of a bug is called a nymph. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So mimicking a nymph underwater, being carried away by the current. So now what we're doing now, what are we doing now?
Now we're going to be dry fly fishing.
Dry fly fishing is where the fly, where the lure sits on top of the water and it floats down. That's it's the reason why people fly fish right here.
Just going to get you far out. Hold that. I want to put some float on your fly. And you're gonna stand right here once we're ready. Now my dad caught a fish right here when I took him out.
Yeah.
So that's what I say, it's right at the money spot. So this is, it's a desiccant. I don't know what they exactly call it. Whatever. So you stick a wet fly in there, pick it, let's try. And we're gonna stick a little floating on there.
That's to help it float.
Yeah, so this is something that's like hydrophobic basically. So it'll repel water. And it'll you know, be good for a long time.
Yep.
But you can tell when it's wearing off because the fly's gonna start sinking.
Yeah.
But a little bit goes a long way with this thing. So this is gonna be a little bit of a different technique. The key here is just don't let the fly stay underwater for too long. Because then we're gonna have to repeat this whole process.
Yeah.
But that's okay if it happens, okay? So you're probably gonna have a predetermined length, so you're gonna want to keep this finger on that line.
Yeah.
And the best way to present the fly, they call it, is to do a few false casts. So in the air, just a couple casts, and then when you're ready, land it, and then watch it. Okay. So false casts, and then when you feel like it's a good time, land it.
Okay.
So you're gonna false cast, and then you're gonna land right there.
Okay.
We're gonna walk maybe up a little bit more, and then I want you to aim. You see that little tiny waterfall that's creeping over?
Yeah.
Aim like right where that little waterfall, water's going like that.
Yep.
And that's gonna be a good one. So you can hold this in your left hand, and then we're gonna reel that extra in because that's just gonna get in your way.
Okay.
So yeah, walk like right there, because I want this length to be where you're fishing. I don't want you.
Okay.
So we're doing some spot fishing right now. We've spotted a few trout. We can see them, and so we're just casting to them. The problem is, Seamus has one rod that got a snag, so I gave him my rod, and the rod that snagged is still snagged across the river. So he's just getting this pretty good.
I don't think we're bringing fish from that
It's
one.
probably stuck. Let me get my third rod. Hang on. Just kidding, dude. Oh, were you trying to alert them that you're there? Perfect, perfect, perfect. A high stick.
Yeah, you know, we're like, hey, what's up, guys?
Guys, I'm coming, okay?
Coming. Heads up. All's fair.
you can move up a little bit too, because just work the water. There you go, perfect. I'd recommend always holding the line with your left hand at some point, because you have a lot of play control with that left hand. That's perfect, dude. Look at that. Oh, dude, yes. Oh. Okay, don't bring him too far out of the water. Dude, that's what happened to my dad. Good job. Now keep him in the water. Keep him in the water. Right here, in the slow water. Okay. Yeah. Okay, keep it in the water. It just disappears. This is just all about the fish right now. So bring it up and keep him right in that slow water. Yeah. Don't let him move out of the slow water. Okay. More. There you go. Now keep him in that slow water. And I'm just gonna take care of this right now. Okay. You can hold that.
I caught a fish.
Because we practice catch and release.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that
all right. First fish caught fly fishing, but it's not the biggest fish I've caught. I've caught bigger, but not by much.
Yeah.
Some big panfish out there in Minnesota. Well, my day out here is coming to an end. No, I just wanted a basic introduction into fly fishing, and what we did today was a walk and wade, right? Walk and wade a little bit on the Gallatin. We did some nymphing, and then out here we did the little, what's it called? Dry fly. Nymphing, dry fly. We were out here for about 5 hours, 5.5 if you include lunch. But I had 3 solid opportunities to catch a fish. First one, I think you guys saw, I just snagged all the poles and we just had to scare the fish away. Caught the second one, so excited. I yanked too hard, threw the fish in the air, yanked it, and then just the fly broke off. I had it snagged many times before that, so the line is probably weakened by that point. But really enjoyed my time here. I think I'm gonna take up fly fishing on my own here, and so there might be more adventures to come with fly fishing. And of course, James here, my shearing buddy. You got anything? You have any ending words for us?
Well, I think you did a great job. You know, you caught one fish. That's probably more than most people could say on their first day fishing. You know, it's really just about the conditions. So we just adapted, and you know, I think we had a pretty good time in this little small creek. But you know, if you want to come up here later and fish with us, we fish the Gallatin mostly. It's a walk and wade. You can do a half day or a full day, and James will maybe put some links to those websites in the description. But yeah, we have about 30 guides total, so we're a big operation up here in Big Sky. So you got to book early if you want to, you know, get a trip, but it's definitely worth it. And even if you just want to spend some time outside in Montana, it's a great way to do that. But yeah, you did a great job, Seamus.
Oh, thank you.
I think, you know, just your coordination really helped right out of the gate, you know. And you have your own fly rod now, so you can practice whenever you want. And you'll slowly start accumulating gear, because that just happens, you know, with a sport like this. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. If you like this video, if you enjoyed this video, like it. And if you enjoy this content, there might be more. So subscribe.